The fact is, in most states, it's still currently legal to fire LGBTQ people, kick them out of a store or business that serves the public, or even evict them from housing because of their sexual orientation or gender identity.
The eyes are 49, the nose...
Each color had meaning, such as pink for sex, red for life, and nature represented by green.
The rainbow flag was created in the spirit of diversity, in the spirit of universality.
Rainbow down by a gay or trans person is still a legal murder defense in about 48 states. So maybe you've heard about this before, but there is actually a legal defense strategy. In short term, it's known as trans panic defense or gay panic defense.
What are you going to use? If it's a certain type of animal, what type of gun, what type of ammunition? Well, the prey that the defendant had chosen was gay people.
The panic defense is illegal in the green states.
Now, sissy that wow.
LGBTQ people can get married in 50 states, but be discriminated against in food, housing, and healthcare, as well as jobs in non-green. It is not a crime in California not to share your status, as HIV is seen as a livable disease now.
The Department for Children and Families declined to renew their licenses because of the family's religious beliefs.
They told the state they would love and care for any child, no matter how they identified. They just couldn't say or do anything that went against their religious beliefs. And because of that, the state...
incredible progress for the LGBTQ community in the form of this map.
Total victory for the advocates of same-sex marriage.
But lesser known is this map over here, where things get tricky.
So does becoming a business owner mean you have to check your convictions?
A report by the Human Rights Campaign found that lawmakers in 29 states have actually proposed bills that would actively discriminate against LGBTQ people.
We have what's called a patchwork of civil rights protections on this issue in this country.
In red here have no promo homo laws that forbid teachers in public schools from even mentioning homosexuality at all.
If you are reading this, it means that I have committed suicide. Those words written on a Warren County teenager's Tumblr page.
Federal investigators are looking into accusations that Minnesota's largest school district discriminates against gay students following 7 student suicides in fewer than 2 years.
These are laws that save lives. 2012 was the first year that the LGBTQ civil rights battles are far from over.
Pope Francis said on Sunday that laws criminalizing LGBT people are a sin and an injustice because God loves and accompanies people with same-sex attraction. Francis,
Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Psychoanalytic Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the National Association of Social Workers have all stated that homosexuality should not be treated as a mental...
all American citizens. Despite this and SCOTUS's decision on the federal level, many state constitutions still have wording against same-sex marriage, including the Centennial State. In 2006, a citizen-initiated petition got Colorado amended.
The military has given an honorable discharge for those who were ousted by Don't Ask, Don't Tell. They're making it clear that they don't care who discharges on whom. Love is love, and we should all come together.
I talked to a Lynn-Mar parent who said the students who are part of Spectrum are used to being ridiculed. But yesterday, she says they were put in danger because of items like this, an open box cutter that was thrown at the group.
A better example than the British Penal Code, also known as Section 377. This homophobic law is the reason why being gay is still illegal in at least 30 former British colonies. Mwanga II, the 19th century king of what is now modern-day Uganda, had sex with men until white missionaries brought Christianity to his kingdom and everyone changed their minds about their gay king. Britain literally exported in the penal codes of many of our former colonies. It's the reason why LGBTQ people in countries like Barbados, Pakistan, Guyana, Kenya, Ghana, and Singapore, where I'm from, still don't have equality today. Between 2010 and 2014, almost 600 people were prosecuted under Kenya's anti-gay laws, according to official government figures. Still actively persecutes gay people to this day. In November 2019, police raided an LGBTQ bar in Kampala. dragging out at least 120 people and arresting them and throwing them into the backs of vehicles. Because institutional homophobia runs deep in so many former colonies, some countries have chosen to keep these regressive laws in their penal code. Regrets the role that the UK had to play in introducing these anti-gay laws to its former colonies. It's a nice gesture, although extremely belated. But saying sorry doesn't mean anything to the people who've had to live in fear and hiding.
Are now charged with assault after 6 people were hit by gel pellets in an attack in Hillcrest.
Yeah, this happened back in September, and today 3 of those teens were in court for the very first time. Our Zara Barker was also in the courtroom during their arraignment, and she
Another law that will take effect in February focuses on transgender youth and adults. This one requires transgender people in K-12 schools and universities to use restrooms in locker rooms that align.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
I got going. The authorities were keen to enforce their idea of morality on the people they'd colonized. They also wanted to make sure that its soldiers and administrators weren't tempted to shag each other or their new subjects. So they imported this anti-buggery law.
The bills they're watching would stop schools from hanging pride flags, allow a person to deny officiating someone's wedding if they object on religious reasons, and remove language in state code saying teachers can't discriminate based on sexual
civilization in our country is built on the family and marriage being at its core. And family and marriage are actually based upon truths about the body and about sexuality.
As an update on the bills that passed last year, the
California's ban on state-funded travel to nearly half the country is making its way through the state capitol.
The ban is for travel to states with laws deemed discriminatory against the LGBTQ community. Our political reporter Greg Lee explains the bridge project
was ruled unconstitutional. However, one Tennessee district attorney says if the so-called drag law is violated at Pride events this weekend, he'll prosecute anyway. But event organizers aren't canceling their drag shows.
Again, the bill passed with amendments that clarify the additional flags that can still be displayed. It includes flags that represent armed forces or schools. Now, this was not the only time Representative Jones was called out for being out of order on Monday.
You can walk around and dance and say it does all these different things. We've opted out in the amendment that was just drafted, the Confederate flag. So the Confederate flag can be flown, but the LGBTQ flag cannot be displayed.